Why Cologne? Well, years back, a high school buddy of mine went to live there. Every time we'd meet, he'd tell me how great the city is and how happy he is there. He'd go on to explain what a city feels like, which I thought was a pretty peculiar concept. We talked a number of times about me coming to visit him in Cologne, but for one reason or another, it never happened. Sadly, he's no longer with us. So I guess this trip for me was a way of reconnecting with my friend and also with my own past. I just hope you won't make the same mistake and wait as long as I did. So eventually I did make it to Cologne and came up with this series here.
This is a lovely place, and we're in Cologne, Germany.
Honestly, I think my videos about Cologne suck. I just don't think they do the city justice. Not that I didn't try hard enough to bring you the city the way it is. I did. I did my research and watched a ton of other people's videos on Cologne before I even went there. That's exactly my point here. It's hard to capture the soul of Cologne on a video. The key point is the city just looks different, better in person. Cologne is not Rome or Paris, but you also need to take into account that 90% of the city was destroyed during the World War II. Everything that survived gives you a glimpse of how pretty it was. But what really makes any city is its people. Much has already been said on Cologne's mentality on other channels, so why not look it up? On the positive side, I was delighted to see random groups of people hanging out and chatting with each other in the street. It felt almost as somebody has turned back time. On the last positive side, I experienced some spotty professionalism. Obviously, most of my experiences were positive, but I'd say some of that new normal has creeped up into the local ways. Let me explain a bit. Growing up, Made in Germany sign meant almost without exception that something was of a superior quality. So I guess I still hold Germans to a very high standard. Speaking of high standards, the public transportation was a bit of a disappointment. But then again, maybe my expectations weren't right. Food. Food in Cologne is no nonsense. You ordered eggs, you get eggs. If you ordered pork shanks, you get pork shanks. None of it is fancy, but everything I tasted was excellent. Prices are fair and you get what you paid for. Obviously, Cologne being a cosmopolitan city, you get any sort of food in Cologne, but that's just not what I was interested in. However, I was interested in Kölsch, the beer that is, because Kölsch is both the local beer and the dialect spoken in Cologne. It's not the most interesting beer in the world, but that's exactly the point. It never bores you or worse, overwhelms you. It just kind of sits quietly in the background. They keep bringing you those little 0.2 glasses of cold Kölsch until you put your coaster on top of your glass. Kölsch just keeps flowing down your throat smoothly, so you keep delaying putting that coaster on top of your glass and delaying and delaying. Kölsch, respect. A final word of advice. Getting to Cologne by train is a treat. The central station is right in the center of the city, right next to the cathedral. The local tourist office is right there on the square, as well as everything else you need. Getting there by plane is a bit trickier. Cologne is served by two airports. One of them is Cologne-Bonn, which is shared with city of Bonn, former capital of West Germany. A direct train will take you in about 20 minutes from the airport to Cologne's central station. Your second option for flying in is Düsseldorf Airport, with transfer time to Cologne's central station at just about 40 minutes. This is where it gets tricky. There's another airport serving Düsseldorf, Wiese Airport, but you absolutely don't want to confuse the two. While transfer time from Düsseldorf Airport is acceptable, transferring from Düsseldorf Wiese Airport will take you over 2 hours. And that's only in theory, because you need to change one train and two buses to get to Cologne Central Station. So with connecting times, it can be hours. To end this series, here's my central thought. Go to Cologne as soon as you can, and don't watch too many videos about it. The city is way better live than on any video. I certainly hope to be back soon. Take care.